iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right. Yesterday, I had the Sirius XM Fantasy Football Host League Draft. So I told you I would talk to you about it. I will. I'll go through my team. I'll go through other teams. We'll see what people did, whether I agreed or disagreed. For the most part, I think this was a pretty safe, conservative draft. You know, I always joke that the guy who wins a draft is the person who gets the most radio time. I didn't see it from a bad pick. I didn't see too many bad picks here. There are some picks I wouldn't have made. I mean, there's some teams here I don't like, but not that they were bad picks per se, just picks I wouldn't have made. So I guess we'll just go through each team and we'll see what people did so you understand it. Greg Ambrosius from High Stakes Fantasy Advantage, they run the NFFC with a third round reversal there. He started out with David Johnson, but his team is Matt Ryan, who we got in round 6. David Johnson and Ty Montgomery. Paul Perkins is his backup. He's got Demaryius Thomas, Devontae Adams, Jarvis Landry, Dante Moncrief, Delaney Walker. And he did a couple of things I wouldn't have done here. He took 2 tight ends in Delaney Walker and Hunter Henry. He took 2 quarterbacks with Matt Ryan and Andy Dalton. I don't usually draft that way. It's a shallow league. There's only 16 rounds. So if I'm going to do that, I want more running backs and more receivers. I get what he did, but it's just not a move I normally make. It's a very conservative approach, and I don't usually do that. Not a bad team. I think it's okay. I mean, obviously, it's as good as David Johnson. I think his team is going to come down to his wide receivers. Moncrief, how's Luck feeling? Adams, can he do it again this year? Landry, what happens with Cutler? If those things work out, he's got a good team. If not, he's not going to win. Raphael Rav, the Rotoballer Radio. So Raf goes and he takes, let's see, his quarterback. He waited pretty late and took Ben Roethlisberger in the 10th round. His running backs are Le'Veon Bell and Danny Woodhead and R. Kelly. I hate R. Kelly. I don't care if he's the starter or not. His receivers are Cooks, Pryor, Benjamin, Macklin, Decker. His tight end is Rudolph. That's not a bad team there. I think the question, though, is the big question, how is Bell? I assume he's fine. And Big Ben. You're putting your eggs in the Big Ben basket. We know how bad he's been on the road. When I play Raf here, I want to play him when Ben is on the road, right? Ben puts up a stinker, I'm going to win. So I think if I would have taken 2 quarterbacks if I drafted Roethlisberger. David Kitchen from the Fantasy Insiders was Team 3. Dude, I am telling you, this guy took all day to draft. Normally we do a 90-second clock. I kid you not, this guy took 4 or 5 minutes each pick. You know what? Be ready to draft. Be ready to draft. I hate it. I'm impatient as it gets to begin with, all right? And in a draft, when it's 90 seconds, I don't want 95 seconds. I don't want 98 seconds. I want you to make a pick, right? I'm always ready to make a pick. I know what I want to do. Maybe I make a minute, but I'm certainly picking within a minute. 4 or 5 minutes? Come on, dude. Seriously. So right here, I don't like his team when you take Gronk in the 2nd round, but I guess I see it. It's a shallower league. But his team is Aaron Rodgers. So he went for the holy team. Rodgers in round 5, Gronk. So his running backs are Todd Gurley, Mike Gillislee, and then it's Jonathan Stewart. Yeah. Receivers are Brown, Fitzgerald, Meredith, Jordan Matthews. So look, he needs Rodgers to be amazing and he needs Gronk to be healthy. If those things happen, his starters aren't bad, he could compete. I think if he has 1 injury, he's in big old trouble. Matt Camp from Sirius XM Fantasy Football. Let's see what he did here. So he starts out with Julio Jones-Roto as the 4th pick. Takes Leonard Fournette, who I dare I say I'm slightly down on because of the injury to the foot. I don't know. Then he comes and takes Travis Kelce. He waits and takes Derek Carr as his quarterback in round 8. I'm fine with that. I liked some of his later picks. I liked Eric Ebron in 11. I liked Doug Martin in 9. But his team is Carr, Fournette, Bilal Powell, Terrence West, Julio Jones, Stephon Diggs, Tyrell Williams with Kelsey. Pretty good team. Pretty good team. All right, Ray Flowers from SiriusXM Fantasy Drive. This is the team I'm really surprised with. I don't like a lot of these picks here. First of all, he took Mike Evans over Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know why you do that. I like Evans too, but not over Beckham. He takes Hyde in round 3, Lamar Miller in round 4, and Andrew Luck in round 8. I think there are issues all over the place here. So he's got Luck, Hyde, Miller, Ware. I don't like Ware either. Evans, Cooper, Watkins. I mean, I like the receivers, but the rest of the team I think is very sketchy. So not bad picks, just picks I wouldn't make. Lisa Ann, we know Lisa Ann, and she does a show with Adam Ronis. Lisa Ann does fantasy. She was the beneficiary of taking Beckham. She followed up with T.Y. Hilton in round 2, Tom Brady in round 3. Once again, you're in an expert draft. Experts just don't take quarterbacks that early. I think we could have waited. But her team is Brady. Then she has Mixon, C.J. Anderson, LeGarrette Blount, Beckham, Hilton. Who's her third receiver? Marvin Jones. Yeah, when Marvin Jones is your third receiver, it ain't going to be pretty. So Brady better be awesome. We got some issues there for Lisa. All right, Joe Dolan, he knows what he's doing. Let's see. He took Mariota in round 10. Have no problem with that. He was 11th quarterback off the board. I kind of like that a lot. To be honest with you, I think that's a pretty good pick there. Joe Dolan started out with McCoy and then Baldwin and Jeffrey, and then got Allen Robinson. So his team is Mariota's his quarterback, McCoy and Duke Johnson are the running backs with Gore, Baldwin, Jeffrey, Robinson, Edelman, Jordan Reed. But then he was smart and he got... So let's see what he did here. He took Jack Doyle to cover himself with Reed. He has Josh Doxson and Ted Ginn in case Robinson stinks again. It's not a bad little team here. I think Joe Dolan's got a pretty solid team. Tom Kasenek here had pick number 8. Tom took Jameis Winston in round 9 as his quarterback. He started out with A.J. Green, Dez Bryant, and he took Dalvin Cook, who I like, and then he took Martavis Bryant. So let's look at his team as a whole. Winston is his quarterback. His running backs are Dalvin Cook and Theo Reddick and Tevin Coleman. His receivers are Dez Bryant, Martavis Bryant, Deshaun Jackson, and he's got Jimmy Graham. Not a bad team here. I don't know. I don't know if this is a winning team. I think he's going to need both Bryants to be good. He needs a lot of things to go right. But I like the players. I think it's just a question of can those guys keep it up. Glenn Colton from Colton the Wolfman, he drafts the same way every time. He starts his draft with 3 running backs. So he took Melvin Gordon, DeMarco Murray, and Marshawn Lynch. Now we're going to get to that Marshawn Lynch pick in a second. I didn't like that pick. Then he comes back with 3 receivers, Golden Tate, Emmanuel Sanders, Brandon Marshall. That's not a bad start. Then he got Adrian Peterson, who if he's good, is good, Corey Coleman, Martellus Bennett. So he did me a favor a couple of times, and I'll tell you why. Then he took Cam Newton and Zach Prescott, took Cam in round 10 and Prescott in 12. I think he waited a little bit too long there. But it's a solid team. He's got a lot of depth, and he built up before he took his quarterback. Now, let me explain where I think he went wrong, which helped me because I picked pick 10. So I wanted Melvin Gordon. He took him. I took Devonta Freeman. Round 3, I wanted DeAndre Hopkins. I was afraid Colton was going to take him. When he took Lynch, I took Hopkins in 2 seconds. Done. Then he took Martellus Bennett, and I took Zach Ertz later. I like the Zach Ertz pick much more. So let me tell you my team. I have Russell Wilson, who I took in round 8 as my quarterback. My running backs are Devonta Freeman, who I took in round 1, and Jay Ajayi, who I took in round 2. So I went running back 1 at running back. Why did I do that? I just didn't want to risk what I was going to get at running back in round 3 and 4. I didn't know. So I had to take my shot. I got DeAndre Hopkins in round 3, And then I came back and took Tyreek Hill in round 4. As I'm waiting for round 5, Colton did me a favor and he took Emmanuel Sanders and I got Crowder. Then I took Pierre Garçon. So I had Freeman and Ajayi. Then I came back with Hopkins, Hill, Crowder, Garçon. 4 really good receivers. Round 7 was a pick that if I'm going to regret a pick, it's this pick. I went to the well and took Devontae Parker as a 5th receiver instead of taking my 3rd running back. I could have taken Derrick Henry, and I thought about it. I could have taken Theo Riddick, and I thought about it. But I went with Parker. So let me explain my reasoning so you'll see what I did. I took Parker there for a couple of reasons. 1, I see a breakout coming. 2, I think this is a PPR league, which it is, and I want to have depth at receiver. 3, if Parker is good, I now have a plethora of receivers and I can make a trade later in the season for a running back. I love Derrick Henry, but what if DeMarco Murray never gets hurt? I love Theo Riddick, but what if Abdullah, has a good season? So I thought that the running backs had warts and Parker didn't because he should be one of the main 2 guys on that offense. And that's why I did it. Will I regret it? We'll see. I then took Russell Wilson, as I told you, in round 8, Zach Ertz in round 9. In round 10, I took Jacquizz Rodgers. So let's talk about Jacquizz Rodgers for a second. Jacquizz Rodgers is going to start with Doug Martin out. Okay? Doug Martin's going to miss the first few weeks. Jacquizz Rodgers starts. So here's the benefit. The first 3-4 weeks, I get Rodgers. If he's really good, maybe he keeps the job. If he's not good, then I trade him to the team who has Doug Martin. But I think he's going to be a good player, so I think one of 2 things happens. I get him as the starter, or he earns himself a job in the rotation, and I got myself a decent player. No lose here. I took Robbie Anderson in round 11, right? I could have taken other guys, but I took Robbie Anderson. I like Marquise Lee. I like Brashad Perriman, but I see Robbie Anderson as a number 1 target on a team that's going to be in garbage time. He should get 5 or 6 catches a game. In round 12, I took Shane Vereen, who I think the Giants are going to use him a lot this year. Round 13, I took Joe Williams. Now, let me explain Joe Williams. I know Joe Williams will do nothing for me the first 5, 6, 7 weeks of the season. My job, as I see it, is this: to hold Joe Williams as long as possible. I don't want to cut him because I think he will be the running back, the starter there at some point this season. I need to hold him. And if I do, it'll pay off. In round 14, Mike Dempsey sniped me. He took Justin Tucker, so I took Gostkowski. It's a good consolation prize. I took the Panthers defense, and with my last pick of that draft, I took TJ Yeldon. Why did I take TJ Yeldon? I'll tell you why. Because Leonard Fournette has a foot injury. What if he's out? TJ Yeldon's a probable starter. So I took him there. All right, Mike Dempsey for the football diehards. He started out with Michael Thomas. Then he took Ezekiel Elliott. It's a good pick for Elliott there. What if he's the man? What if they reduce the suspension? It's a smart pick. So his team is Drew Brees in 6, which I do like. And I probably would have taken Brees over Garçon, by the way. He has Brees, Elliott, McCaffrey, Abdullah, Thomas, Allen, Thielen, Cobb. I worry about his receivers, but it's a good little team there. Good little team. And finally, Kyle Elfring from the Sirius XM Fantasy Drive. He started out with Jordan Howard and Jordy Nelson. I liked Jordy Nelson there a lot. Then he took Crabtree, which I thought was way too soon. I do like the Crowell pick. He took Willie Snead, who I like. So let's look at his team. He waited for Kirk Cousins in round 10. Great pick. He has Howard, Crowell, Ingram, Henry, Procise, Nelson, Crabtree, Snead, Wallace, Bolden. It's not a bad team. I just worry, is this an upside team? Now, here's the upside. If Derrick Henry is the starter, it's a very good team. Without it, he may be one impact player short. Crowell, Howard, Ingram, are these guys all going to do it? I don't like Howard and Crowell, 2 guys on bad teams. I don't want to have 2 guys on bad teams as my running backs. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. I think for the most part, as I'm going through it, I didn't hear any really bad teams. The only team I actually pretty much hate is the Ray Flowers team. Not because that they're bad players, there's just, I don't like Ware, but he took Kareem Hunt to back him up. I don't like Lamar Miller. I don't like Carlos Hyde. I wouldn't have taken Carlos Hyde in the third round. I would have taken Dalvin Cook for sure over Carlos Hyde. I would have taken DeAndre Hopkins. Right? I would have come Evans, Cooper, Hopkins. Bam, bam, bam. Right? So how is this going to play out? I don't know. I can tell you my team. I love my quarterback. I love my 2 running backs. Love my receivers. Love my tight end. I am one backup running back away from winning this league. I believe that. I'm one backup running back away. Now, is that Jaquiz Rodgers? Is it Shane Vereen? Is it Joe Williams? Or do I have to pick somebody up during the year? So I think I'm going to have to make a trade or make a waiver wire pickup. But if I can just get Freeman and Ajayi to be healthy, my receivers with Wilson and Ertz every week, I mean, I got Hopkins, Hill, Crowder, Garcon, Parker. I should be getting 20 points a week. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to kill you with big games, but I think I'm going to beat you like a slot machine. It's just going to pay off. Boom, ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. I'm going to put up 140 points a week. Right? I may not put up 180, but I'm going to put up 140, 150. I drop 150 every week. I should win 90% of my games. That's the move. Right? That's what I want to do. You know what else I want to do? I want to tell you about playffwc.com. Right now, tonight, beat Dr. Roto. Get in the league. We could use you in there. It's a $35 starter draft only. No moves, no lineups, no waivers, just draft. All you got to do is just draft. And if you do, you're going to get great payouts. You are going to get great customer service. You're going to get an easy-to-use draft room. And if you don't want to do my draft, maybe it's too late for you. Come do another draft. It's as simple as that. Come to playffwc.com right now for the best fantasy football draft experience that you can have. All right, guys. Right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. We are back tomorrow. I'll let you know how my draft goes. Maybe I'll preview another team. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know it involves fantasy football. And you know what? You want to be fantasy football world champion. You come to the Palms. You come to Las Vegas. You hang out with us in September. You have the best time ever. It's as simple as that. All right, guys. Wishing you a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!